In U.S. politics, the Bush family is as close to royalty as you can get.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
I, George Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
2 presidencies, a vice presidency, 2 governorships and cabinet positions galore. We know about his father, George H.W. Bush, and his brother, George W. Bush. But who is Jeb Bush and what does he stand for? One thing that sets him apart from the rest of the family, his fluency in Spanish. His wife, Columba, is a naturalized U.S. citizen from Mexico. He has 3 bilingual children and has gone against the conservative wing in his party on issues like immigration reform. And as governor of Florida, he unsuccessfully pushed to allow illegal immigrants to obtain a driving license. If he becomes the Republican Party candidate for president, Jeb Bush could do better than many of his rivals among Hispanics, a group widely considered vital for winning the presidency. But while he may have stronger ties to Hispanic voters, he's still a Bush. And the legacy of his brother George W. Bush, especially when it comes to the invasion of Iraq, looms large. That has caused him some problems recently. First, he said that knowing what we know now, he would have invaded Iraq as his brother did, only to reverse himself days later. The war in Iraq is still deeply unpopular here in the US.
We ought to have a more significant presence in
But Jeb Bush is still pushing for a more robust US foreign policy and is being advised by many of those who advised his brother.
Our position needs to be to re-engage with a strong military and a strong presence. We can't disengage in the world and expect a good result. As we pull back, voids are filled. Iraq is the best example of that. So where to from here? We need to reestablish relationships with countries that we have managed to mess up. I mean, we've managed to mess up almost every relationship in the world, if you think about it, including Canada, which is hard to do, but we've done it.
Jeb Bush doesn't have much foreign policy experience, something he sought to rectify last week after touring Europe, visiting Germany, Poland and Estonia. He was politely received, but doesn't have the same cachet abroad as Hillary Clinton. And so far, many Americans aren't that wowed either. His poll numbers are low.
There are an awful lot of Republican candidates at number 1, and no one has any real traction. When the top 5 are all at just barely cracking double digits, it tells you that no one is jumping out in front of the pack. And so far, Hillary Clinton, if there were an election today, would not be challenged.
If Jeb Bush does go on to face Hillary Clinton, it'll raise a question of which political dynasty Americans prefer. Since 1980, there has been a Bush or a Clinton president or vice president for all but 8 years. The US may be a democracy, but a Bush-Clinton matchup in 2016 could make it feel more like a monarchy. Nathan King, CCTV, Washington.